Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is this? Part 2, Episode 3. So, more or less, you had a Dane in the last hour pleading, begging for his life. No, you must help me, otherwise bad things will happen, but I can't explain it to you here for one reason or another. I cannot explain it to you here because people are watching. I can't explain it to you here. Well, if you don't explain it to me, fuck you. Oh, well, please explain it to me here. Well, if you don't explain it to me, fuck you. Bad things will happen. Well, then fuck you. So he left and he died. And now it's the next
Not what
morning.
happened,
It's
but
the next
okay.
morning. Everybody getting back together to kind of like you know.
Except for we followed him and he freaking went behind. I don't even know.
Well, you stealthily followed him, so he didn't know you were following him, so you could provide some sort of protection.
He was being super sketchy.
He was being super sketchy because apparently somebody was trying to kill him. And if somebody was trying to kill you, would you be
If
like?
he had said the words, "Someone's trying to kill me," I would have defended him.
Maybe he couldn't say those words for one reason or another. But that's not something for us to continue debating back and forth. Instead, why don't we have Luca debate it with his party as he joins into the tavern?
Yeah, I walk into the tavern. I assume I see Reich and Stalbor sitting there.
We're at the same table as last time.
Oh,
Yes,
Consistency.
Yeah, literally, I was just sitting at the same table we were at last night, and you see Stalberg kind of talking at me.
I'll come in and sit down.
Oh, as you sit down before you say anything, Stalbor will push one of the healing elixirs to you. Because I had a spell slot left over last night, so I brewed one up, and it won't last that long. Probably until like early afternoon, but I'll push one to Luca anyway, just for good measure.
I'll just take it and say, "And what's this?"
Ah, you saved your life with it last time.
Oh,
Healing elixir. It will dissipate from the mortal realm in less than a day, but it may stop you from dissipating from the mortal realm.
I'll thank him very kindly. At first, I thought it was a drink. He bought me a drink. So I was like getting ready to just drink it. I was like, and then he's like, "Oh no, it's essentially like a healing." I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh, well, thank you." And I take it and I put it in my pack. So last night, huh?
And also the chronicles would be on the table as well.
Yeah,
Pretty obvious.
If you say that, I say he's dead.
I nod to that, yeah. Yeah, he is.
I have a plan of action.
I raise my eyes at you, eyebrows, and then when you I'm like, I nod.
If
dead.
we go to Mr. Denif's house and explain some things, perhaps we'll be able to get their sort of authority to look into Dane's death further, be able to find his body wherever it is kept. I do hope that they keep bodies of such suspicious deaths for at least a short time, and then I'll be able to tell the story of his murder.
One quick thing. Luca would have already informed his family because it was super important. He probably would have told them last night before he even went to bed, even if he was a little tipsy, and then would have confirmed it in the morning because he's not unwise. And two, Luca would be able to tell you that after the authorities were done looking over the body, so it might still be in a government-run facility at the moment, it would be released to the Dilliander family, which is equally as powerful, if not more so, than some of the other families. That the game exists in this world.
Yeah, so they're pretty wealthy. We're not going to get the body from them.
I'm still not used to how your cultures deal with the dead.
We take care of our own.
I say burn them. Diseased.
Well, then my plan of action is irrelevant, and he's a little annoyed at that.
Did I get any response? You said I would have spoken to my family and let them know. I would have told them literally everything from we were being hired to so on and so forth. Did I get any type of response from them? We'll keep an eye out type thing, or
We'll look into it.
Okay.
And if you question again, be like, "Thank you. We'll look into it."
Yeah, okay. I figured it'd be something like that. As long as I got that response, I'll say I'll let them know my family is looking into everything. I've let them know everything since we've met, since the play, and they are looking into the suspicions. Hopefully, I'll be able to hear back from them, and they'll inform me of what they think the proper course of action should be.
And you are just a man of your family. You do exactly what your family says and intends.
I don't. I do everything my family says, absolutely, without a question. However, I don't only do what my family says. I will not sit here and wait until they tell me to do something. So if you have any proper ideas, I am more than welcome to look into this with you.
That's good to know.
Odette, you come walking in late as always.
Now, how did things go with my family? Similarly?
I mean, your family was not directly affected. It was, a binder of the gnomes, and there was a member of a different family that was targeted. It was Lucas' family that was accused. It was really just your family would have been affected, and they were kind of like, those people that you spoke with were like, and everything is fine then.
Yes. I more want to apologize for getting involved in the first place and getting arrested and questioned.
It seems as though you were in a advantageous place when you were there. You've helped us out considerably by having this information for us, and you did an excellent job in protecting the ladies that you did. So thank you for that, Odette, and please, having a quick run-in with the local law because you've done a great deed, they should be thanking you and not questioning you. But some people, and you can only expect so much.
Of course. Thank you. Okay, so with that in mind, I will approach the party. Well, we do have one avenue of information still available to us, possibly. As far as I know, we could still question the hobgoblins who attacked the two women.
If we can get access to them.
If we can get access to them.
We
I
have
think-
a member of House Orion and House Beneath. If I've learned anything yesterday, that is important. They can get the cogs working.
I guess you'll see some pride. Like, yeah, I'll nod, like nodding yes, but I won't say anything.
I think it's important to mention that house favors aren't free. I just don't want you to use my position flippantly. Just letting you know.
More or less, she's like, yo, Mooch, back off.
He's like, and actually does move back a little bit, like, by all means, you're in charge.
Not what I meant.
So maybe Reich should take the lead on this one. We are dealing with hobgoblins.
He can communicate with them,
So, fine.
I presume.
I seem to, for a moment, to start to protest, and then I just say, fine.
Okay.
Get us the meeting, and I'll get them to talk.
I am going to attempt to do that. Although I think, actually, Luca might have a better connection to that than I do.
To talk through my family to try to get it. Yeah.
Interrogate prisoners. Yep.
Hold on 1 second before you guys go into that. I know there were two avenues here. I just want to confirm that you're doing the one that you want to. One avenue is to try to get access to the corpse because Stalwar believes that he'll be able to find things from the corpse that maybe other people wouldn't be able to. Odette was not there for that conversation. And the other avenue is to go and try to find these hobgoblins that were part of the attack and see what you can find out there. They are prisoners. Which would you actually want to do if you want to cue in Odette and so on? I'm sorry. One might be time sensitive, one might not be. Maybe both of them are, maybe neither of them are. You don't know.
Yeah, I guess we mentioned to Odette that I said that, but Stalbor's pretty like, oh, I guess this isn't possible then. If it's gone to House Leander.
Scott, how likely with house politics would it be to get access to this body?
Because of the fact that it is literally the next day, and we're talking less than 24 hours after it died, it's probably still in government custody at the moment. I mean, it's not like you guys have an incredible amount of insight to this. I'm throwing you a bone here. But so it might be possible for you to do so, but you're going to be calling it a favor for you to do that. And I don't mean necessarily the rule calling it a favor because you guys don't have that, but it would be a little bit taxing.
It's basically whichever we think both of them are time sensitive in one way or another. Like the body will be moved, and the hobgoblins will probably be killed
When
or
that body's
put
moved,
in prison or whatever.
when that body's moved, and Odette knows this, when that body's moved, it's going to go to the DeLeander family, and that would mean that you would have to go to House DeLeander and hang out with the DeLeanders and ask the DeLeanders for a favor, to which you would owe the DeLeanders a debt. How do you feel about that?
Not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
They're obnoxious and they simply won't help us.
I know, but we're not talking about Luca. We're talking about the
Oh!
DeLeanders.
Boom.
He had that one just sitting there. He led you
Setting
there completely.
Yep.
He was. Oh,
I laid brickwork, baby. I
Yeah.
laid brickwork.
you're a dwarf or something over there.
All
Yeah,
right.
would Luca be able to get us that sort of meeting with the hobos? Is that even a possibility?
You believe that Luca would be able to get you a meeting with the hobgoblins, and you believe Luca would be able to get you a meeting, be able to get you access to that body. However, whether or not he's able to do both is a different story. Dilla Ryan could try to do either of them, but that's less her field.
Avenue.
Right.
Let's try to get access to the body.
Eric, you do also know that you might be able to get access to the prisoners because of who you are. Maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe.
That's if these people even know who I am. Would these guards be hobgoblin? Are they mostly hobgoblin guards in Charm? I'm actually not familiar with that. I know there are hobgoblin guards, as were there are probably hobgoblin guards everywhere because of House Tanith. But are there like primarily hobgoblin guards?
No, by no means are they primarily hobgoblin
Okay.
guards. If you go down to the crappy areas of the city, it's more common, but we're talking like more commons, like 20%. You know what I mean? That's in the worst parts of the city. But your prisoners are not necessarily going to be held down there. They're going to be held in better areas.
Yeah.
So, since they're both time-sensitive matters, and it seems like
One is more than the other.
Ryuk and Luca can both accomplish them, let's make this super difficult on Scott and just split the party. I'll go with Ryuk, and Luca and Stalbor can go together to find the body.
I'm fine with that.
So you guys want to
Yeah.
split up then?
We got
Yeah.
2 hours left. We got an hour on each side story. It'll be fine.
Okay, and you more or less you're going to double, or at least somewhat, what's the word I'm looking for? Ad hoc, increase your your chances of getting to the prisoners because you're bringing both of them over there. Completely understandable. Why don't we go to the corpse first? Because dead bodies everywhere. Dead bodies
Right.
everywhere. Yeah. Look at that. So, Stalbor, in the United States, we listen to something called death metal, and there's a song that
Really?
So
As a necromancer, I know very.
He's heard.
Yeah.
I think he's heard of music, Scott.
yeah,
Well, we don't actually have music in the UK.
yeah. That's
It's
not,
just like Skrillex on
that's
the
not
radio,
true.
right?
You guys have
Well,
music. It just hasn't been good since the 80s. So
Ha!
so the poor Ollie. I'm just teasing you. So
He's not arguing.
Yeah, I know. but-
There's a funny
I'm still
thing
just
which
teasing.
I have to kind of explain, and there's a little bit of a tangent, but fuck it.
jeez.
The way it works is the BBC makes the radio stations, right? The main ones. So there's like 1 to 5, and then there's spin-offs. Radio 1 is like whatever's popular right now. It's shit. Radio 2 is what was popular like 20 years ago. It's pretty good. And then the other ones, who cares? Radio 2 is the one everyone listens to because Radio 1 is the popular British music, and it's not, no, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
His bait.
If you're in a car journey, you want that Radio 2, baby.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
You know how many radio stations there are in America? It is ridiculous.
There's
There
a
are
lot
two-
more than that, but it's no one really.
Yeah, but
listens.
you know what it is? It's Rhode Island's bigger than the UK, anyways. So, all right. So, anyways, let's keep going with the story. So, we're gonna go to the corpse first because that's more interesting. Odette and Stalbor, what is your attempt? Like, what is your plan?
With Luca and Stalbor.
No, Luca and Stalbor,
Yeah.
Ryuk and Odette.
Oh, I totally misunderstood that. I thought we were going this way, not this way.
Ah.
Or sorry, wait, you said Reich and Stalbor? No, Luca and Stalbor. So this way. Gotcha,
Luca and
gotcha.
Stalbor corpse.
Oh,
The
Odette just.
par usual, the same way we split last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Odette-
the same
Yeah,
way for
actually,
the
yeah.
looking around.
We're team A, they're team B.
Wait,
They can be
Or you
team
see
one.
May.
wait.
Our
Lu-
team
They
A
can
and
be
team one. Team A and
Yeah,
team
it's
one.
team A.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to make sure I understand this. So I'm asking only Aaron. Aaron, who are you traveling with?
I am traveling with Ryuk.
So that is not the way you split last
Right.
time. Last time she
Right.
was with Stalbor. So you're very wrong.
No,
Luca.
when we were going into
last
the,
time I was with
the-
Stalbor, and I told him to send a
Yep.
message to Aaron.
Oh,
that
you're talking about
lake was
before
at
the
bottom.
combat. Before the combat.
yeah.
That doesn't matter.
The original.
That doesn't,
The
that doesn't
original.
matter. That was weeks ago. I can't remember that crap. All right, so here we go. Heading towards the heading into it. We're gonna have for the corpse is going to be Odette Stalbor
No.
and Luca.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Stalbor and
Yes.
Luca. Awesome. There we go.
James.
We're good now. We're good now.
Teammate.
I can't. I don't know. So Stalbor and Luca, you guys are heading in to go find this thing. What is your method? How are you trying to get access to this? Tell me your plan.
As we're going there, like Starboy will explain, like actually, fairly honestly, that he had a job investigating the recently deceased. He doesn't go into a lot of detail. It's like, I know what I'm doing. You just need to do your thing and get me to the corpse.
I guess I would be trying to call in a favor from my house and telling them I think that this death is related to obviously all the information I had given you, and that I personally want to look into it.
Okay. So you go to them, and you're going to say exactly, more or less, you're going to approach your house, and you're going to be able to say almost exactly that, or maybe expand it a little bit more. Roll for
Right.
me a persuasion check for you to do this. Stalbor, before you do so, Stalbor, are you assisting in any way? And if so, what are you saying to his house? Or are you just being the quiet little servant elf? Are you the house
I
elf?
don't understand the house business. If
Uh-huh.
he needs me to say something like, "Oh, yeah, I'm helping," but other than that, I'm just there looking, like probably making them less likely to want to help him. But you know,
So I don't ever gesture in the manner of Stalbor to talk. I'll just say my comrade here is great at looking over the deceased to be able to maybe find a few clues. I don't ever say that in an attempt to have him elaborate. I just say it so that they know that that's the plan.
No, not a problem. It's wise that Stalbor does not jump in to assist this in any way whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So Dobby silently follows, and Luca, you can make for me your persuasion check.
All right, persuasion.
You know what? You are. I was going to say you are dealing with your house, and this is in a situation that you were directly involved in. So, oh wait, no. You were not directly involved in this. Sure, you gave information of it, but there's no proof that you're directly involved, and you're not dealing with the same members of the house at the moment that you're reported to. So
Right.
you would have to say that Stalbor was directly involved. Referencing to the police report. Is that something you would want to do or no? Or would you rather kind of keep it a little under the hat?
I would tell them everything. Yeah, if it's the members of my house, I would literally tell them everything from the combat on.
Okay.
That we were hired, this and that. Stalbor was
Blindly
the whole situation.
trusts house. Gotcha. And
yeah, like Starboy doesn't stop him. He does look down. Well, he doesn't even look down much at Luca because Luca's actually almost as tall as him. He's just like, okay.
so
Sure.
so you can roll one more time and take the higher of the two. The 15 is not bad.
Sure.
I think we'll take the 15, Scott.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 15.
I don't know. I like that 7. What do you think? What do you think, Aaron?
Oh no, 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aaron says
Yeah.
15. Aaron says 15, so we're gonna go 15. So
Oh.
you take the 15 and you convince them to let you see the body, but it's one of those things where it's like, listen, you know you're not supposed to be going in there and doing this. Perhaps you should just be a little quick, okay? Roll me an insight check,
Absolutely.
both of you.
Inside.
I have disadvantage on this insight check.
No, you do not. Oh,
Okay.
yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Don't
okay
worry.
because Luca catches the meaning. You know that he's being hurried and whatnot, but you might be able to calm his nerves some way. Some way. Luca.
Wait, I might be able to calm whose nerves?
The guy that's
I think he
telling you
means
that you
money.
should hurry. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. How much gold do I have? Hold on. I don't have much gold to give. I guess I just give him 8 gold.
8 gold. Okay, so
No,
you
a gold.
8 gold. You hand him 8 gold.
A
8
single
gold.
gold.
No. You killed the guy. So you killed the guy. So 8
Oh,
gold.
you're awfully generous.
So you
gold.
hand him a single gold piece, and he's like, oh, just don't take too long, and he lets you guys in there. So you go in there thinking somewhat, he took money, but he is putting his name on the risk or whatever. He is doing you a favor, so it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. So you go making your way in to go find the body, and can quickly categorize, find out where it is that's being held, and you open up the place where it is. And yes, we are in somewhat a medieval mortuary, so or morgue, whatever. So there. Despite the fact that we're in a medieval setting, remember, this has somewhat of a fantasy steampunk feeling to it, more fantasy, less steampunk feeling to it. So there are lots and lots and lots of magic items that are very, very common. So one of the magic items that are very common is a body placed inside of these facilities. Do you have Detect Magic, Stalbor?
I don't think I do.
That's okay. So a body placed inside these facilities, we'll just say Luca knows this. I'll give you as a freebie. A body placed inside these facilities are preserved. They're actually very, very well preserved as per the spell Gentle Repose. Now, as soon as they come out, as soon as you open the door and pull it out, Gentle Repose instantly falls off of it, and its rotting takes place at a normal time rate. So if this thing has been dead for, let's say 12 hours, and he's been in here for 8, he's only aged 4 hours as a corpse. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's something just to keep note of.
Yep.
So you pull the thing out, and it's actually preserved decently. It's only about half as rotted as it otherwise would be. And that kind of Stalborn notices this, and he's like, this is strange because of the fact. And so he would question, and what's his name there? Luca would explain. Pick it up.
Well, I would probably be pretty quiet. Do I make a medicine or an investigation roll here to see the cause of death?
Sure, absolutely. So why don't you roll me? That would be first. We're going to do an investigation for just kind of no, sorry. Well, your medicine would be just see that he's dead. Let's do an investigation first. Advantage, of course.
Yeah.
Natural 20. He's definitely dead.
20 though.
Okay, 20 total, which isn't bad. Not
And
bad
it's
at all.
and Luca would see very professional, like the medics in the other house, and it's he actually does know what he's doing. He's not actually being weird, but it is kind of weird because look at him. But he isn't just I know the dead. Can listen to them. He is actually checking all the everything.
Start sniffing it.
Smells delicious. Are you getting hungry right now? I don't know. So you're searching the thing over, and one of the things that you notice is you can tell that the person. So usually, if somebody died because of an altercation, a robbery, or whatever the case may be, because you've seen many of these beforehand. Sometimes you've just because you're a curious person have gone and investigated corpses in dark alleyways because you knew nobody was around, and you can take a glance and learn stuff. Not to mention your history from long before that. So. That all being said, one of the things that you would usually notice when somebody has been killed due to a mugging or whatever the case may be is a sign of struggle. Bruising on the arms from trying to defend themselves, or maybe where they've been held, or things like that. That sadly is not the case. This person's dead, obviously, but what has killed him was very, very surgical. It is very clear that the attacks were very well placed. The cut marks are very well placed that killed him. And then after that, there was some almost hacking attacks that clearly came after the person had taken 2 very precise lethal blows. It was those smashing ones, these hacking away, almost cover it up, like it was a job. Now, could you roll for me with a medicine advantage again? Oh, sorry, roll for me with advantage again to medicine check. Thank you. Okay. So looking over and trying to examine everything, you don't find out anything beyond what you already did with your assumptions based off of your investigation check. However, there was a considerable amount of information you got there. One of the things you do notice is he doesn't have any belongings on him, blah, blah, blah. The clothing that he wore when he was killed happens to be hanging in like a little bag or a pouch or whatever, and we'll even say Luca kind of went through it off to the side. His clothing was covered in blood, but it was very simple clothes. His shoes aren't even there. His jewelry, his gold, the gold that you guys were supposed to earn if he survived, Luca, is not there. All of his belongings, his suitcase, all of the clothes that he was so frantically trying to bring with him, they're all gone.
There were no defensive wounds. He was killed exceedingly quickly by someone with great skill who was smart enough to cover it up and make it look like a simple thug job. This was a most likely well-paid assassin, a very skilled one at that, who knew what they were doing and how to make it look like that they didn't know what they were doing.
I think that confirms our suspicions.
That you should have helped him.
What?
Can I try and look to see what the original wounds, like what kind of weapon would have dealt them?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're trying to see what was that?
What kind of weapon would have dealt the first wounds? The very precise ones.
Oh yeah. Actually, so you with your investigation check, you tried to figure it out, but you weren't able to do so. Do you say this out loud, or do you show any frustration, or?
I would say it's like I can't. More than once I've been able to find out a killer by their preferred weapon, and not in this case. They've
and when he says that, once he says like preferred weapon, I'm like, oh yeah, let me look at that. And
you're able to make an investigation as well, and this is going to be with advantage because that's one of your shticks.
Yeah. Investigation.
Okay. So you're going and you're looking to see what it was that had killed this person, and it seems to be a very, very fine blade. So you notice it's a very fine blade that did it, and you're kind of like pointing out those details and everything. Stalbor, no advantage. Roll me one more investigation as he points out these details of this very fine blade and how it was that he'd done it. And oh my god, that's a natural 20! What? 90-20 hype, 90-20 hype. So one of the things that you notice is he's pointing out, you're just kind of like hitting yourself on the forehead that you missed it. How could you possibly miss those amazing details? This was clearly an elven short sword that did this. Clearly, the make of an elven short sword. I mean, it is so fine that yeah.
Well, Luca, we make an exceptional team. This is an elven short sword, not entirely unlike mine. So, elven assassins.
I'll nod to that and say, at least we have a lead. We should probably get out of here, not to use too much time with this body.
Yes, our time might be up. And then he would sort of very respectfully like put everything back where it was and push and seal the thing back up and do everything as it kind of should be, like he's done this before, and head out, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Dungeon Master.
You do all that stuff, and you make it look nice and pretty, and you push it back in there, and you guys are able to head out with this newfound information.
And I assume we go back to the tavern because we don't know exactly where they're going.
Yeah, it seems to be the place of meeting, so we'll go to the tavern.
Can we have a name for this tavern that we keep going to?
Yes.
Absolutely. It is called the Rusty Boar.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a.
Dude, I hate when my board gets rusty.
It's called the Rusty Boar, but it's funny because it's called the Rusty Boar, but actually it is the inside. Sorry, on the sign it literally looks like the image of a gorgon.
Okay.
All right.
I would definitely take note of that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Star White.
Yep. So going to the. Oh, by the way, the gorgon is the symbol of House Cannith.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's a symbol of House Cannith. So, anyways, pulling the camera over to Luca and Reich and Odette, the two actual nobles of the party. Pulling the camera over to them. You guys, what is your approach? How are you going to try to get your way to the prisoners?
Do I know where they're being held?
Make me a persuasion check to figure that out.
Okay.
Reich, do you assist in any way or do you hang back?
I don't think that. Actually think I would be harmful.
I'm very upset that I finished my good bottle of scotch. that
I'm
I was drinking for a while.
I am trained, or whatever the hell it's called. I'm proficient. Jesus Christ, I can't think of the word. I am proficient in persuasion, so if that.
Plus, you
will
could
allow
try
her
to talk to like the hobgoblin guards while she's talking to like fancy,
Yeah.
That's
schmancy.
Let's see here.
Nobles.
See what I can get.
Eric,
Okay.
Eric, are you following Stalbor's suggestion?
Yeah, I would do that. Which means that I would get to roll at advantage.
That's right. You do. Look at that. If you're
Bada
curious as
bing.
to why it is everybody's able to roll at advantage, if you look down below, there's a link to all of the character sheets right there, as well as some little homebrew stuff we did to give everybody like a little bit of like how it is that they fit into this world. There's something they absolutely suck at, but then there's a few things that they're really good at. The good things are extremely fine-tuned, whereas the sucky thing is rather general. So with your advantage of that's funny that it rolled a 6. That's hilarious. That's beautiful. So you with your 12, you go around, you try to get a little bit of information, but it doesn't help you very much. However, what's her name there? Odette is able to find where you are supposed to, where it is that the guards are being held. They happen to be at the same guard facility that is above the morgue. So coincidentally, you guys are approaching this place, probably seeing off in the distance, but not even saying hi to as they walk away. The others as they're leaving the morgue.
Okay. I will approach
That is not as good as
the
Scotch.
nearest guard I see.
Yep.
And just introduce myself. Say hello. I'm Odette Orion.
What was it?
I'm here on behalf of the lady, and I give the gnomish lady's name.
Mhm.
And I have a couple questions for some prisoners that are currently being kept here.
What was her name?
Yozis Landlin.
That's right. I was like, I have it written down. Oh, I remember where it's written down, but it's Yozis.
I'm
Yozis
the
Landlin.
note taker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Notekeeper. Now, if only you can keep people alive. So this session is now going to be called Shit on Will. So, I'm sorry, you said what, Odette?
You drive me to drink, Scott. You drive me to
I'm
drink.
here on behalf of this woman, and I have a couple questions for some prisoners, if that won't be too much trouble.
Does Reich interject at all, or does he silently stay to the side like a good hobgoblin servant?
I have no reason to interject here at this point. She's just talking to him. I don't throw my name around willy nilly. So I'll wait to see how this plays out.
Okay,
If
so
I could please speak to your captain.
could you roll for me a persuasion check there, Erin? Last time was to find it, this time is for it.
Yep.
Everybody, don't forget, I gave you all advantage.
No, not perception. Ugh.
Not perception, persuasion. Hey, listen, I gave you all advantage a long while ago on your. Do you know how to mark that on your character sheet so you remember whether or not you still have it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
I just keep forgetting I have it.
So I believe
Inspiration.
Stalbor still has his, and I believe
Yeah.
Reich still has his. I think both Luca and Odette use theirs.
I know I
remember
used
one
mine.
day.
I'm not
What
sure.
you guys will actually have to remind me because I've never used the inspiration rule. So
Well-
you have to remind me when we're doing something dramatic.
Well,
Yes.
Well, no. You want to use the inspiration rules when it's not necessarily dramatic, because when it's dramatic, that's when you can re-earn your inspiration by doing
That's
something
true.
inspiring. You know what I mean?
Eh?
Like Luca letting that guy die is not very inspiring. All right, so with your persuasion check of a 9,
I certainly wasn't expired.
they're like they don't seem very convinced or to
Right.
just let you in or anything like that, and the conversation eventually leads to what you inevitably said, which was, may I speak to your supervisor or your captain or whatever the case may be, superior. And they're like, yeah, why don't I do that? And so they go and get the captain. They come out there and they're like, I understand that you're trying to see my prisoners. I'm sorry, Miss Orion, but I don't think that is going to be an option for today. But I do appreciate what it was that you had done in this situation, and thank you for your inquiring. And he literally says all of that without giving you a chance to speak, and then starts turning to leave.
I would say, at that point, I would say to him, hold on a moment, and I'm going to step forward.
Okay, he turns back around. Whether or not he's annoyed, exasperated, or anything like that, you see no notion of he's very well trained militant kind of person. So he does turn back around. Yes.
I say, my name is Reich Martelon. These people, these hobgoblins, they were attempting to commit a crime that was both both destructive to her house, the house of one of our companions, and to my family line. I wish to speak with them briefly. We will not harm the prisoners. We will simply speak to them, get our information, and be on our way. You can observe if you would like.
Roll for me a persuasion check, and because of that last line you just threw in there, you may have advantage.
Come on, baby.
A 14.
Okay.
Okay, so he sits there and he's like mulling over it for a moment or two. I'm sorry, this scotch tastes like licorice. I have not drank this scotch in so long. I forgot it had a slight licorice flavor to it. So the I've been spoiling myself with like good stuff lately. So the he's mulling over it for a little bit, and then finally he's like, very well, but I'm going to be in the room. I need to at least witness to make sure nothing nefarious happens. But the conversation is yours. More or less saying he's not going to like listen in, right? And then he invites the two of you in.
All right.
He leads you over to where the cell is, to where the cells are, and brings you over to like down the hallway that has a couple different cells. The doors are all reinforced, thick wooden doors, reinforced with iron bands on them, and they do have like a little window where there are bars so people can see out, and then down by like the bottom, like about waist height area, there's a spot where there's a metal slot that can be pulled open so you can slide food in onto a tray that's built onto the inside of the door. It's actually, most prisons you would not expect to be this well, like with the type of stone they have there and the doors as reinforced as they are, and the fact that there's a slot for food to go in. But you are in Sharn, and Sharn is a fairly advanced city. So these are some great amenities for the prisoners. And the guard does leave you down there. For the other guard that's actually guarding this hall on the inside, as you guys are walking past him, he says, wait right outside the door and things should be fine. And says that to the other guard, not to you. And when he walks you guys down the hallway, he goes over and raps on that door, and he's like, hey, you've got visitors. And what'd you say?
I imagine they took our weapons, correct?
Actually, you know what's funny is he did not take your weapons.
Okay.
He did not take your weapons. You guys don't travel with all of your stuff anyways because you're inside of Sharn, but the stuff that you are willing to walk around and travel with, which is probably just your broken sword and everything, he does not take. So the he raps on that, he says that, and then he kind of steps back maybe like 15 feet or so, kind of giving you guys your berth. He doesn't open the door, my apologies. You're able to speak through the window itself.
So and who's on the inside? Is it the two hobgoblins?
Yes, the two prisoners. Yep.
I look over them for a moment, and you kind of see my face like very much change. Though I usually wear like this very like blank sort of expression. I don't seem to emote very well. Right now, I look at these people like a disappointed father, and then I say in Goblin, disgusting. There were at least 4 of you, and almost 8 slave-born, and you lost to 4. Pathetic.
Are they speaking Goblin?
I'm speaking Goblin.
Okay.
I would say, if we were back home, I would have executed you in front of your family. I would have let them drink from your blood and gain what little strength you had in your body. You're lucky. We're in the Red Bloods' lands now. And I just kind of look at them to see if they are affected at all by my little speech first.
I believe you have advantage on intimidation because of your race, don't you? Or is it just persuasion?
We just had as persuasion.
But how about the thing that you get for your you have your 3 perks? Isn't one of them intimidation of goblins?
No, it's persuasion.
No. That's from your race, correct?
No, that is one of my 3 things that I just took.
And so, hold on, I'm going to click down below because I believe you were mistaken, sir, in the things that you were saying. Clicking on the rules, clicking on, nope, that's not what I wanted to click. Clicking on the homebrew. Click on the homebrew, looking at Hobgoblin.
Teammate got nothing to do with this.
Regal presence. You are proficient in persuasion, and your proficiency bonus is doubled on persuasion checks against the goblin race. I don't think we were adding that before. And then
it is intimidation.
And then over on this one where it says background skills, opening this one up right here, it says Reich, history goblins, insight goblins, history. So you can persuade them extremely well, and you can
I was just
read them very well. Okay, so they are definitely affected by what it is that you're saying. There's no question about that. You can roll for me since you have that benefit. Roll me an insight to see how effective they are. This is with, just to be clear, this is with advantage. It's when you persuade them that you actually just get double your proficiency bonus that's built into your race. Okay. So, you rolled a 19. Oh, that's amazing. So you get a 23 total, and you get to so kind of like looking at them, you can see that they're like, on one part like seething a bit because they've just been berated by somebody that they were supposed to like that they should have killed, but on the other hand, they are extremely embarrassed because you're right. Like everything you just said is correct. They should have won and they didn't win, and it's embarrassing. So, they don't say anything. They just kind of like hang their heads.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of the effect I wanted. But then I switched my tone. I kind of, I would say softer, but my character doesn't do really anything soft. So in a less aggressive tone, I say to him, I say to them, I have questions. I don't wish for this. I don't wish for this to be difficult. I can promise you one thing. If you help me now, I will use all of the clout that my name carries, and I will protect you the best I can. I can at least get you a swift death. It's better than you deserve. And,
go ahead.
And then I would say, who hired you?
They both sit there for a little bit, thinking amongst themselves, kind of like tossing glances back and forth. It's obvious that they're going to speak. Like you can read that with your 23 insight that they're going to speak, but they need just like a little time to kind of collect themselves, you know. And they finally come to a conclusion, and one of them just like starts nodding, and he starts to speak, and he's like, We learned hard to do this job. We did it for the spread of our kind. We sit under the thumb of those filthy humans. And then he looks at like the woman that you're standing adjacent to. He kind of like looks at her, and you can totally tell like he's playing like with a loogie in the back of his throat, like like this like disgusted look in his face, and almost like looking at her caused that to come up. And he's like, and their vile faces. We are trying to strike back at them and to make sure that they know that we are not their servants. This was a failure, and we will be punished as we should be for this failure. But this is not the end of it. Our line will rise again. And I tell you this because while I do these dirty tasks of manipulation and assassination, I do it for you. And he does like a honor to your family sort of a thing.
I look at
the other one follows suit like a half second behind him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just look at them kind of interested, but obviously not trying to give away what we're talking about.
Odette, make me a perception check as you're less involved in the conversation. Eric, hold on just 1 second for me. I'm sorry. Hold on, what you're going to say. Okay, so the our perception check is you actually notice looking off to the side that the guard, as much as he said he's not going to eavesdrop, and obviously he's not listening intently, he's able to hear what this hobgoblin is saying, and so his hand has moved from being like kind of like cross-armed. It's like one's hanging and one's like looking relaxed. Is sitting on the hilt of his weapon. You know what I mean? But he's not like in a threatening pose or anything like that. It's almost like he clearly heard what happened. It almost like it happened instinctively. Like he didn't intend for it to happen. It's just raw instincts. I'm sorry, Eric. What were you going to say to the hobgoblin?
I say to him, I say to him, well then, who is your band leader?
You killed him.
And it was your band that came up with this plan.
He was the ranking officer. I did not question his command. He told us what to do from the orders he received.
Did you ever see him receiving orders? Do you know who was above him?
I do not spy on those that I follow. And with that, you can actually tell that he's almost insulted after he just gave you a sign of respect. Insulted that you would question his fealty to his kin.
I don't seem to pay to take notice to that. I intentionally kind of ignore him. I nod and I say, "A good soldier." I look back at you and I look back at Aaron and I say in common, I don't know how much more information they'll be able to provide. It appears that they were simply following orders of the band leader who we killed. I look back at him and I say, one last question. Have you ever heard the name Dane? Dane did yeah.
Sounds like a human name. I don't know any personally, but it sounds like a human name.
Close enough. And I look back at her and I say, "Do you have anything specific you think I should ask?"
They don't know who the two people they were, or the two people they attacked?
No, they were following orders of their band leader.
Are you sure?
As certain as I'm going to be. As certain as I'm going to be.
I'm just gonna say the name of the two women,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna study his face,
Roll me
recognition.
Roll me an insight check.
Yep.
Eric, you can also roll an insight check because she's clearly doing it in front of you and you know what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric, don't forget advantage.
Yep. Damn, I'm mad insightful.
I was like 14, 15, 16. So you guys roll your insight checks, and as you say the names of the two women, the one that's remained quiet the entire time, he he's watching the entire time. But when you say it, he makes eye contact with you for a moment, but then looks away. It's actually rather subtle. You almost missed it. And I'm sorry, made eye contact with Odette really quickly. Odette missed it. She was looking at the other one at the time, the one that was speaking more. It was actually Reich that caught that.
Mm-hmm.
That caught that quick little you know what I mean?
I'm gonna turn to the guard really quick. I'm going to cast a spell. It is merely to understand their language. I mean, it's not no combative magic. Is that okay?
Yeah, I understand what it is that you're trying to do. May I speak to you to the side for a second?
Of course.
And you step over, and he's gonna kind of step close to you, not obnoxiously close, or close enough that he can try to keep his voice quiet. I imagine Reich is either watching or just staying quiet in general. And he says,
"That is me, very racist."
Yep.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove her wrong.
and he says, "They haven't said a word since they got here. They haven't spoken to anybody, and they're pouring their beans out to him and showing him signs of respect. I understand what they're saying. I know their language. Why?"
He has family.
Yes, he mentioned his name earlier as though it was one of significance. Should I be wary of this man?
I don't believe so.
You said your name was Odette, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Odette. And you can understand the significance of what he meant by saying that to you just then.
Yep.
And he then kind of gestures for you to proceed.
Mm-hmm. And I do. I will cast it as a ritual. Take some time.
Oh, so you sit
10
there
minutes.
for 10 minutes, just kind of like.
I do. I don't have it prepared.
Magic sparkles, magic sparkles.
Listen, I didn't plan well for
Magic
this.
sparkles, magic sparkles.
Was Dane just like you, Scott? Were you basing Dane off of you?
Yes.
Excuse me. Dane has nothing to do with me, okay? Dane was based off of a part of me that just really loves hip hop music, and I don't always get to,
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I look at
Yeah, no, this is like a process. I have to like draw runes on the floor
when she's
with like
casting.
sprinkling the salt.
When she starts casting, I turn back to them and in Goblin, I say, and looking directly at the quiet one, I believe there is something more you could tell me.
He doesn't say anything.
I look at him. I kind of step a little closer so my face is like almost pressed against the bars, and I say, "I'm the only one who is who believes. I'm the only one here who even remotely wants to help you."
The other
No
one,
one-
the other one actually interrupts you, which is very uncommon considering, like, how respectful he's been so far. And he's like, "You're wasting your breath. He knew that he knew information, and so he severed his own tongue. He got his hands on a knife while we were in the eating hall before, and well, that's why we're in these cells now."
I actually smirk at that, and I turn and I say, "They're professionals. We're not going to get much else." As you're in the middle of casting, a
Rubbing
spell.
your foot in her magical circle, disrupting the spell.
Hey,
No, I know.
There's nothing more to be learned from them.
but he knows something.
He can't speak. He's tongueless. Sliced it out, like a good
He has
soldier.
hands.
And
He has hands.
I look to the guard and I say, "I assume, given the laws of the land, you will be against us providing physical retribution for his unwillingness."
I kind of get the guard to look like maybe you're not.
Could you say that one more time, please, Eric? I didn't fully understand what you said. I'm sorry. Just repeat it.
I imagine that, given the laws of your land, that you would be unwilling to allow us to inflict physical retribution for his unwillingness.
Or maybe.
Are you requesting that they be sent back to Dargun?
I look back at them with a toothy smile, and I say, "Well, I believe that would be appropriate."
That's out of my hands, of course. These things fall into the king's court, so he would have to make that decision, or at least one of his one of the judges would have to do so. That's not my decision to make, but if that is your decision, I will tell you that your opportunity to start that process is very quickly fading. This did happen a day ago now, so you might want to get that paperwork started.
Who do I speak to get the proper paperwork?
I don't know all these names off the top of my head. I do apologize. However, I do have somebody upstairs that can assist you with this.
I would thank you to point the way.
Are you done here?
I look back at them. I nod. Indeed.
You guys leave, and he walks out, and the other guard goes back in and stays inside the hall and shuts the door behind. Before you guys go back upstairs, it's like where everything else was. So as soon as the door's shut and you guys are like on the stairs, he actually stops and places and kind of like will like give a tap or like a clear his throat or whatever to get your attention, and he'll actually say to Reich, he'll be like, "Who are you?"
I look at him and I say, "I am Reich Murtalan."
Yes, this is not the first time you've said that, but you say it like it has purpose, but it has no purpose to me. It has no meaning. What is the significance of Murtalan?
I look back. I look away from him, and I say, 10,000 years ago, when your people were in chains, my family was defending this mortal plane from interlopers." And I look back. I look back at you and I say, "My family line is well respected amongst the hobgoblin people."
He's kind of nods to that clearly. Like while he understands every word that you said, it kind of went way over his head. He knows nothing about what the hell you were just talking about, and so like he doesn't understand history that far back. He doesn't understand magic that far back, all that stuff. So he's just kind of like, okay, and he continues to lead you guys out of there. He does bring you over.
That's why I like explained myself right after.
He does bring you guys over to where it is that you can meet up with that person to do the paperwork, and we're going to have you do that. Now, we are going to take a quick break. This one's going to be about a 5-minute break. When we come back, we only have a little under half an hour left, and the reason is, as I said, there are people being picked up from somewhere off far away, and we have to get started to get them. So let's take this break so we can come back and get a little bit more done.
Yep.
All right, where are we? Oh, yeah, break time. How do we do break time? I think we do that, and then we mute you guys because nobody wants to hear you, and then, oh, you can't hear me anymore.